Well, hello and welcome back. Let's get ready to put this pumpkin together. So one material, actually a couple of material items I've neglected to mention at the start. So thank you for your patience. Tapestry needle. This one is plastic. It came with the beginner kit I purchased about 3 years ago that then sat around for a year and a half wondering why I'd have bought it. So this is just kind of got some sentimental value to me. There are different size, there are both metal and plastic tapestry hooks with different eye sizes. This is a jumbo tapestry hook with a great big eye. It's very easy to thread. So if you're using like a blanket yarn, like a super bulky that would be a 6 weight, this is your buddy. Or if you're just truly terrible at threading tapestry needles. Either way, you've got options, and they're not terribly expensive. And again, if you corral them, you'll be able to hang on to them. And then also, I've got some polyfill here. We'll be using this to stuff our pumpkin. This is, I want to point out, this is high performance fiber fill. Which I guess is like the high mileage oil you can buy for your car, or maybe synthetic that costs more. I don't know. Anyway, high performance. So these stitch markers, they've served us well, and they would have served us better if I'd actually followed them. But this is a pretty even piece. Now this particular piece is 5 by 10. I worked this in advance to show you what we were heading to, but after working enough rows to get to double the width of our row, we have arrived at the promised land, and we're ready to do the fun stuff, which is constructing our pumpkin. So let's get to it. So I'm going to remove these stitch markers. I'm going to park them up on my chest or some other similarly unsafe location where I can promptly lose track of them, or not. Oops, goodness gracious. All right, there we are. So we've got, again, our right side of our project. We can tell that we were working our thing here. I've made a really long tail. So actually we're going to take 5 seconds and we're going to end this off before I wind up frogging it out and having to redo it. Whoops, wrong hook. Holy smokes, whoopsie. All right, so I'm going to end this off. I don't really have to, but I'm going to for personal safety reasons. Okay, so we've ended that off. This is our wrong side. So if we wanted to vary the look of our pumpkin, we could do it this side out. But for consistency, I'll start with the right side out. So we're going to put it together. Again, this is our right side, wrong sides. No, I lied. Right sides together. Got you going there. And then now we're going to use our stitch markers a little bit like basting pins. If any of you have ever done sewing, you'll often, if you're not doing a basting stitch to keep things in place while you're putting it together, you'll use basting pins. These stitch markers can serve the same purpose. So we're going to first match up our ends. Wait, sorry if that wasn't on camera, y'all. Oopsie. Okay, so again, this was our foundation chain with that really long tail. This is our ending. And there's the last stitch in the row. So we'll put it together. And now we'll just kind of squish it, and we're not worried about counting stitches at this point. We're just going to let the thing naturally settle. And if we anchor it, it'll just keep it from swirling around while we're slip stitching it or overcast stitching it together. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm doing, whether I'm going to stitch back and forth or overcast stitch. It's a crazy train here. So here we are. We've kind of basted our project together. This will just help us have a nice even seam without a whole lot of thought. You may be detecting a train here, or a trend here rather, where not thinking is at a premium. I'm just going to probably weave this into what I'm stitching. This was our original foundation. If I was a really good person, I'd weave it in, but today's not the day, gentle readers. So again, we've got our tapestry needle, and we're going to set to threading it now. So again, do things the easy way. So this is our tapestry needle. I'm going to put the yarn over it, pinch it, and that will hopefully give me something I can catch on first try. Yay, team. We have threaded our tapestry needle. We can only achieve great things from here. So again, I'm going to stitch this together. I'm going to go through the rear loops so that it's a little less obtrusive. And now it's time to remove this stitch marker. And now we're going to put it away. We don't need these for a while, so let's put them away as we go so that they can rejoin the herd and be available for more shenanigans in the future. So remember when I said I just wasn't sure if I was going to stitch back and forth or what my plan was? I still don't know. So here we go. I'm going to stitch back again through this stitch. I'm going to find the rear loop. And these first ones, I'm going to just take it like one at a time. And then I'll start weaving through more later on. Sorry, that might have been a little bit off frame. So I'm going to, again, stitch through on the third stitch, back loop, third foundation chain, hit that back loop of our ending row, kaba, bibi, bobo. All right, so I'll meet you back up at the end of this row. We'll go on to the next step, but we're just going to keep stitching it nice and securely, keep some good tension because we want this row, we want this to be held together well so that our stuffing doesn't show through, like I showed you with that other earlier pumpkin. So I'll see you in a moment. All right, so we have finished stitching our seams together, and hopefully we've got a nearly imperceptible join. There's our seam. You can see it's pulled together very nicely. It's very consistent because we went into our chain and then our front loop, which again becomes the back loop. So we've got a consistent thing. So now our pumpkin's starting to take our gourd, starting to take shape. So again, here we were, right sides together. Where the heck is our seam? So this method generates a nice flat seam. So if you were making a hat, this would be a nice comfortable seam and not irritate the back of somebody's head. So there we are. So we've got our pumpkin tube now, and now we're ready to turn it. We've decided that for this particular pumpkin, we're going to go right side out for our visible side, and we're going to make the bottom of the pumpkin, we're going to seam it together. This can be fun. If I can remember what side I was on. Hang on. Things got a little crazy there for a moment. I'm back. Okay, let's go to the side we actually connected. Wow, all kinds of crazy. Hold, please. Okay, so there we are. So we've got our pumpkin. We're at there's where we ended our seaming of our row. If you really want it to be secure, go ahead and add in go ahead and tie it off here. But oops, well, all right. Second time's the charm, I swear. So to do a quick and easy knot, here we are, we've got our loop. Go ahead and insert your needle, twist around, or, think of it as yarning over, and then pull through. And there we are. Nice tight knot. You can use this technique for sewing as well. So let's do a quick little running stitch through the ribs so we can gather things together. And I'm not too worried about getting to the end. I really am just making sure that I'm being consistent about my location, mostly. And also not working too hard because this is a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. So we'll go through the tops of the ribs. I could do a little bit of this. I'm going to go actually shoot for the tops just because if my rows have varied in width, this is going to generate some cool randomness. And then what's going to happen with this is it's going to gather it together. Let's see if I can show you what that looks like. That's going to start to gather together our pumpkin. So again, we're going to Just mosey into the tops of the rows here. Just like this. Should be easy. Put your needle in where it enters easily. If it doesn't, working too hard. This is not work. This is a hobby. All right, so I'm going to finish gathering this up, doing this cool little drawstring stitch, and I'll meet you up at the end of this row. All right, that only took a moment. So here we are, we've gathered up some more. So you can see things start to take shape here. So there we are. Look at us go, yay team. And so now I'm going to finish up here, go again into the tops of these ribs. And I'll go back over the rib I started with. I know that seems kind of like overdoing it, but it will give it a bit more strength. And now I'm going to dive this through this center opening so I can catch it on the other side. And now I'm going to, turn this inside out for a second because I'm going to draw these together. And now I'm going to do some reinforcement stitching so that we keep a nice tight closure here at the end. So I'm just going to whip stitch a little bit. This is probably where a metal crochet hook would be a little bit more handy, but we're going to ride the horse that got us here. And I'm going to stitch it together this direction. I swear this is happening. Do. Flip that over. Not quite sure what happened there. My loop had caught. And there we are. And then I'm going to turn it this way and throw a couple more anchoring stitches here. Maybe overkill, maybe not, but I'd like to make sure that this pumpkin could withstand a toddler, because more than likely that's going to wind up being what happens with this one. So I'm going to tie it off again, just because, again, it's going to add additional whoops. That's what everybody's always shooting for, the project. All right, so again, going to insert. Good Lord. Insert. Now I split my yarn. No wonder I'm having troubles. All right, there's the loop. There, we've got it. Sort of. All right, so there we are. We definitely did split it, but whatever. So we're going to insert, yarn over, insert again, pull through, and we're going to anchor ourselves off. It's just going to add some more security. So now we're going to flip this up. Look at that, pumpkin booty. Okay, so now we are ready to do some stuffing. I'm going to unthread my needle for the moment because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it because things are just getting all kinds of crazy here. This little tail, I'm just going to stuff it in there for now. But notice how this is at the center. We're going to stuff around this yarn so that it remains at the center. Then we'll go into the next exciting thing. So we're going to grab some fiber fill. This is kind of the fun part. And we're going to stuff this until it winds up looking the way we'd like. So here we go. Throw in some fiber fill. Again, we're going to kind of pull our cord to the center so we A, don't lose it, and B, are stuffing somewhat evenly around it. That's going to pay off later. Okay, time to close our little metal case so our stuff doesn't wander off. Set my scissors aside here. There we go. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to put the scissors up there because I don't want to lose them in the couch. That'd be a bummer. Okay, so here we are. Grab our polyfill. Set the pumpkin down. Look, two-handed. All right, there we are. Got our little pumpkin here. We're going to stuff it some more. Yum, yum. Feeding the pumpkin. And let's see, how do we feel about things? Does this feel pretty well stuffed, or would we like to jam some more stuffing in here just to make sure it's got a nice firm shape? Woo, goodness. Wow, that was a little much. That escalated quickly. Okay, so let's throw some more cool polyfill in here. Yelp. There we are. Okay. That's how I feel when I'm putting on Spanx, folks. It's gonna fit. I'm skinny. I'm shapely. Okay, so we've got this set now. Got our tail as promised. It is probably going to be too short to do our gathering at the top, but I like to live dangerously, so we're going to go for it. So sorry about the rattling, but got to find my tapestry needle in all this mess here somewhere. Where did I put it? Poop. All right. Let's just pull absolutely everything out, trying to find the one thing we're looking for. That is how it goes. Set those aside. All right. Where is my needle? Why can't I find it? Rats. Well, this is awkward. All right, fine. We'll just use one of our other ones. I'm sure the other one will turn up later, probably in one of the couch cushions. They teach you in chemistry that matter is always conserved. They're not wrong. So here we go. Check out how easy it is to thread this one, because we got this super jumbo eye, which is all right. All right, I have no idea where the seam is anymore. I think this is it. So let's just start there. We're going to work through some ribbing. It's okay to work through it like one at a time now, because we've got a pretty fat pumpkin here. We might have overstuffed it, but we can make adjustments at the very end. So we're going to stitch along here. Hope that we're long enough. If we're not, we'll just tie on some more yarn. I'll be able to show you a cool magic knot, which is awesome for, well, lame. All right, totally fine. Okay, so we're back again. There we are, stitching some more. And you know what? Yeah, it looks like we're going to be adding some more yarn. So let's just go ahead and admit defeat and do that now. I'm going to stick this tapestry needle up above my ear so I can wonder where it is later. So let's let's take a little yarn from the other end of our skein, and we're going to add that on so we can finish this off. And I'm going to go ahead and be pretty generous with it because I way underestimated before. So here we are. So the magic knot, here we go. Let's see if I can make this work here for you. So I'm going to tie this end like this. Make myself a little yarn pretzel. And then I'm going to go in from the other direction with this yarn. I'm not showing this well. Go in from the other direction with this yarn. I'm going to make a yarn pretzel that winds up going the opposite direction. There we are. So see how that looks? Got two yarn pretzels going opposite directions. And now I'm going to pull them opposite in opposing forces. And now I'm going to pull the body of it opposing until it's good and snug. And now we have got a lot more yarn. So we're ready. So get that tapestry needle out from behind my ear, and let's go back to what we were doing, which was finishing up gathering this yarn. So, and I'm not going to worry about trimming these as yet, because I'll probably just stick them into the body of the pumpkin, because I'm lazy like that. So here we go. We're going to gather up some more. stitching into the ribbing, because you'll see that this will wind up actually. Ooh, sorry about that. Got kind of wild there for a moment. Didn't mean to bonk you guys. You'll see that this will wind up being something that we just shove down in the middle of the pumpkin and cover up. So it's really, we're better off with a little bit of extra tail left. Just, I don't think that knot's going to migrate, but anyway, that's the magic knot, and it's a good way to join up yarn if you wind up with an awkward situation. I have it on good authority. They never come apart. So far, so good. When I've washed things that I've knotted, they've been okay. It's been all right. So, almost at the end here. Booby-doo. And we're going to, again, we had a gathering there, but we're going to go in one more time because what's better than a stitch? An extra overstitch. That's what. Okay. So there we are. So this pumpkin's pretty stiff, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and gather. Again, ask your yarn nicely and it will respond. Yank violently and you'll live to regret it. So there we are. We have a sea urchin. Just kidding. Although actually a sea urchin would make a cute little project and would be the same process. Do some cool purple stuff. Maybe add in a different color yarn, some other overstitching. All right, so we are ready now to give this pumpkin some dimensions. So I'm actually gonna do the same thing I did before. I'm gonna do a little bit of overstitching to gather this together. Again, enhance the integrity of this join. Going to go at it from the other direction, catch in this edge, go over that thread because it's kind of annoyingly out there. And there we are. Uh-oh. This is where using that large eye is going to be a little bit awkward. So let's pick a better spot to go through so that we can get that bigger eye through. There we are. And as you can see, our awkward tied ends are just working in nicely. And stitch it again. And there we are. All right, now for the exciting part. You're like, oh, it's going to be exciting? Well, that would be a nice change. So we're going to put this needle through the bottom. I'm going to try to figure out how to guide it through to the very center. Check this out. We're going to pull, and now we have that divot that makes that cool, awesome pumpkin shape. So I'm going to take a break while I stitch back and forth for a moment. We'll meet back up in just a second. And we're back. Thanks for your patience there. So I stitched back and forth a couple of different times, even knotted it off and stitched some more a couple more times. And that's given us a good secure pumpkin shape. If I wanted to, we could kind of mush this a little bit and move some of the stuffing around, but I'm pretty pleased with our slightly flattened, cool pumpkin shape. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to tie this off, but I'm going to leave the tail because we'll use it to attach the, let's find a good stitch to insert into here. We'll use it to attach our cool little stem, which we'll go to making here in just a moment. So again, I'm going to insert, yarn over, and insert again, and just give it a good yank, and that's really crappy, but it's going to stay put. Again, we're looking for something durable that can be enjoyed for many, many years, tossed in the washer if need be. But there we are. There's the body of our pumpkin all complete. So let's get ready to make our stem. So we're going to get out our H hook, that slightly bigger hook. And now we're going to change to that green yarn we introduced way a long time ago. And we're going to do a cord, and that will make our pumpkin stem. So again, we're going to make a slip knot. And now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to do 3 single crochets. So there we are, we've chained 2. Going to insert into that second loop from the hook, insert, single crochet once. But now instead of pulling through both loops, we're only going to pull through one loop because we're getting ready to make something a little bit more continuous and linked together. So now we're going to insert again, yarn over, pull through, say hi to the dog. Hello, dog. Hi. You a good girl? Oh, yeah, it's such a good girl. The boop the nose. Yeah, it's a good baby. All right. And then, so where were we? We had 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, and we finish with these 3 loops on the hook. And there we are. There's our slip knot here. So we've got kind of a little basement, and then we have the beginning of our first row of our cord. And we're going to pause for a moment because I think somebody needs to go potty. Can you go potty?
Oh!
That's a definite yes. So back in a few, dear viewers, after I potty the dog. All right, we're back. Everybody's been pottied. All is well. So here we go. Now you notice we've got 3 loops on the hook. So now we're going to do something a little crazy. We're going to back out of 2 of those loops, and we're going to pinch them with these fingers and hang on to them, because we're going to create a rounded cord here. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1, release one of the loops, reinsert my hook, yarn over and pull through it. Now I'm going to reinsert into this 3rd loop, yarn over and pull through, and now I've got 3 loops on the hook. So again, take out 2, pinch them with this 1st and 3rd finger, yarn over and pull through that 1st loop, reinsert into the 2nd loop. Yeah, it's giving me a good fight though. Chase that thing all over. Gets easier as the cord gets a little longer. All right, reinsert back into that 1st loop, insert into that 2nd loop, and now we're going to insert in the 2nd loop, yarn over and pull through, insert into the 3rd loop, yarn over and pull through, and now our cord's starting to form. It will start to kind of pull together and be this sort of rounded thing as we get a little further along. So now I'm going to remove 2 of the loops. I'm going to pinch them between my 1st and 3rd finger. They're trying to get away from me. Well, you know what? It happens. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Where were we here? So there we are. 3 loops on the hook, remove 2, pinch them, yarn over, pull through, insert, yarn over, pull through, insert, yarn over, pull through. And there we are. All right, do this once more together, and then we'll work our cord together and meet up at the end. So yarn over, pull through, insert in the 2nd hook, yarn over, pull through, insert in the 2nd hook, yarn over, pull through. Whoa, what happened there? Took my eye off the ball for like 5 seconds. Try that again. Insert, yarn over, pull through, insert, yarn over, pull through. All right, so there we are. We're starting to get this cool stocky look here. There's the back side, but I assure you when you get done, it's going to wind up looking like it's all one piece, even though it's not joined up in the back here. It's still going to look super cool. So I'm going to work a couple more of these. I'll meet you back in a moment for the finishing part. All right, so there we are. We've got a pretty good little stem here. It's going to stand up and have a kind of a cute little curve to it that's just the natural byproduct of my tension. And now we're going to finish it off. Finishing it off pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and snip our yarn, and then we're going to end it off. So just have to find the scissors. There they are. Hi, Kuda. Hey, yo, pretty girl. Did you chase the cat? Was that fun? Oh, didn't have racing mode. Got an ear bent. All right, good girl. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we're going to end this off. We've snipped our yarn. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 3 loops on the hook. I always think of them as hoops. Okay. And then go ahead and end it off here. All right, neat. So there we are. We've got ourselves a stem. So now we're in a spot where we can go ahead and snip these random yarn ends, and then we're going to go about attaching it to the pumpkin. So I'm going to snip them. I'll leave a little bit of extra because pumpkins have some interesting fibers to their stems, and so it doesn't have to be super duper precise. And then I'm going to pick the end I like best to be up. I'd say this one looks pretty good, and I'm going to sew down the other one. So again, we're bringing back our pumpkin. Got our ending yarn. It's still on a tapestry needle, and so now we're going to take a moment. We're going to stitch up through the base of this. I actually go a couple above the end, and that way it's pretty secure. I'm going to bring it up through. I'm going to kind of find a good spot to put it here. Good spot to put it here, and then I'm going to stitch back down again in a different spot. And I'm just going to go right through the pumpkin all the way to the bottom. I'm going to give it a good yank because, again, that helps to shape it. And now look how that stem will stand up on its own. No wires or anything needed. So now I'm at the base of the pumpkin. Just put her back through and aim for part of the stem. Maybe fold it over a little bit and then come back through like that. And there we are. And now you can see, you can't even see the different colored yarn because it's sucked down into the center of the pumpkin. And I go back through one more time, and I'll go to the very bottom of the pumpkin and I'll end it off there. But we are just about done with our little creation here. There we are. And see, we've got a cool looking little stem. It's made out of yarns, but it's pretty realistic. And we know that it can make it through the wash, and it's still going to look super cool. We can even mold it around and play with it, and it's safe enough for a little one to play with without getting poked with a wire. Of course, when I was a kid, little kids' toys had wires in them because we were tough then in the 60s. That's right. All right, so there we are. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. And again, you know the drill. Insert, yarn over, insert again to make ourselves a tie-off. I guess this is our last knot because my needle came out and I don't feel like rethreading. And grab our scissors, give it a snip, and voila. We have completed our pumpkin. So there we are, folks, a fun fall craft. It's kind of a fun contrast with these other ones. I have no idea where the orange one went. I guess the cat took off with it. I don't see it. But there we are. We've got our fall pumpkin, and I want to thank you all for being part of this creation experience. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it will give you a craft that you can use to enhance your enjoyment of fall. Maybe make some cool gifts or some wonderful decorations for your home, or perhaps a random cat toy. Thank you again for being with me and for tuning into the channel. If you like what you've watched, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And also, if you like this video, give it a like. And if you have any comments for me, including constructive tips or things that I can do differently, remember, I'm still pretty much a beginner. Some of you watching this may have crocheted your whole lives. And if you've got some gems or some pearls for me, I will make a necklace out of them and use them to decorate some sort of crocheted craft. So again, thank you. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you later.